and welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing my What Have I Done? The video where I go over all of my completed pages for the month. This month I am doing the month of August 2021. Today is the 2nd of September and I have pretty much done all of the pages from August 1st through August 31st. I have done 17 different books. 10 of the books are digital, 7 of them are actual physical copies. I have done 48 pages in total. 30 of them are digital and 18 of them are physical. Now, I did a little bit less this month than I did last month. I had a whole week where I really didn't color much because I was reorganizing everything. And my husband, he teases me because he says that sometimes he thinks I enjoy the organization more than I enjoy the coloring, which he's not totally wrong. I think I enjoy them both equally. I'm going to start with the digital copies. But before I get started, I would like to say I have gone over 100 subscribers. This is awesome. I never expected to get that many. I have said this before, I started this for fun, and I am having a ton of fun doing it, and I just wanted to say that I really appreciate every last one of you for taking the time to subscribe to my channel and watch my videos. And so that all being said, let's get started. The first digital book that I worked off of was 100 Easy Designs by Coloring Book Cafe. I did this one. I used my Cupcakes for this. One of the rare times I use them. This one I used, okay, so this one I used watercolor pencils. And this is the first picture. I've used it for backgrounds before, but I've never used them to actually do a picture. And this is the first one. And I used Crayola and Goldfaber both. And what I did is I outlined it in, like this one I outlined in orange, and then I used the yellow in the middle, and I kind of brought the orange into the yellow to give it a little added color. And I did the same thing over here, but it's not really as noticeable because the colors are pretty close. And the same with the leaves. Now what I then did was I took a Goldfaber pencil and I went over and I went through and all these little highlighted areas I shaded and highlighted the lines a little bit more to give a little bit more depth. And yeah, I really liked it. For the background, pretty much unless I say something is different, I use the Mungyo chalk pastels for almost all my backgrounds. And so yeah, I really like the way this one came out. I do have a little bit of problem in staying in the lines when I use watercolors, but overall I'm happy with it, and hopefully I'll get better as time goes by. This one, I use Teo Tree markers and spree markers, not spree, I'm sorry, pen and gear. I use pen and gear on this. I'm trying to see how the yellow bleeds. That's why I had the wax paper on it. So far it hasn't bled, which is good. But I have had some of the pen and gear in the past bleed, so I'm trying to see what this set, because there's two different types. There's the barrel that is kind of like a whitish gray, and there's a black barrel. I'm trying to see if there's a difference between the two. This one, this one is the whale that I did for the Danny Button scavenger hunt. On this one, I did do the background in Crayola crayons. I didn't use the other thing. This one, I did all of it with Ephira oil pastels, and then I highlighted it with Prismacolor. Even the background I did with the Ephira. Next is Baby Dragons by Jade Summer. I did this little guy. I kind of did it like a wintry scene in the night. So yeah, I used various, I'd say for most of these pictures, I've used various different permanent markers. I have a tendency to use Bics and Sprees and pen and gear all in the same picture. And that's what I did with this one. This is Whimsy Girls Celebrate the Holidays and Festive Occasions by Hannah Lynn. I did the birthday page. She is kind of modeled off of me because I love pink and purples. So that's what I did, the color scheme I used for her for her birthday. And then in the simplified version, I went, well, my husband said he wanted red and yellow, but I thought that was too McDonald's, and I always liked the way orange and yellow look together, so I did that. And because I used the pen and gear yellow, I've been putting this wax paper to see if it bleeds, and it did, but it wasn't the yellow, it was the face. I don't remember if you, I don't know if you can see that, but you can, oh, that's not a good one to use. I don't know if I have here. I have something white. See, you can pretty much see the face has yellowed, bled through. So far, this wax paper is doing a good job. I had this in a sheet protector, but I took them all out of the sheet protectors because it was giving me too much glare when I recorded. And it's so much it's preventing it from bleeding through to the plastic. So that's good. I have a feeling I used the Shuttle Art skin tone ones for this, and it really disappoints me that it's bleeding. But I don't remember, so I'm gonna have to do another test on another one and see if it bleeds like this one did. But definitely this brown has bled through both front and back. And I'm just hoping that this wax paper keeps it from getting into the plastic. This one is the convention, the comic book convention. I used, like I said, various markers. I used metallics for the dress, the staff, used some glitter here and there. I really like this one. And then this one I like better. I did her more of a Cinderella vibe, and I put some glitter to kind of highlight on her dress to give it a little bit sparkle. I don't know if you can see. There you go. And then for her, I used a little bit of a metallic and gave her more of a greenish and yellow vibe. And then I used metallics for the staff. Really like it. Next is Cute Fantasy. For this one, I used various gel pens and markers. I used the metallics for the wings. I used crayons for this background here, and I think here. And then what I did was on the hair especially, I took a Brute Funer pencil and I kind of shaded a little bit. I don't do much of that, but once in a while I like to kind of do a little bit of light shading. So I did that, and on the dress, I think I really like the way it came out. And the skin actually came out really good, which is unusual for me because usually I'm a bit more streaky than that, but I really like the way she came out. Next is Easy Coloring Book by Jade Summer. This one I did with 3 different oil pastels. This is the Ephira. This is the one I got from Walmart, which I don't remember the name brand. And this is Pentel. And really, of the 3 that I use, Pentel has the darker, has more saturated pigment than the other 2. But what I also liked about this picture, and what I love about the Easy Coloring from the Jade Summer, is it's got a light grayscale that shows a little bit of shading. And so what I did was I took a pencil, and I don't remember what pencil it was. Let me see the other side. See if I can see this here. Arteza. I used Arteza colored pencils, and I went through it. All I did was follow their shading, and just darkened it with the pencil so it didn't look as gray. See if you can see, like right here, I didn't color it completely, so you see a little bit of the gray here. And what I was trying to do is color over that. And I really love the way this came out. It came out really pretty. Really pretty, and I had a lot of fun doing it. I also got an email from like one of those little announcements from Jade Summer, and they're doing an easy coloring book for Halloween that I'm really looking forward to. I'm not really into Halloween much, but it looked really cute, the couple of pictures that I saw, and I can't wait for that to come out because I'm pretty sure I'm going to get that. Next is this cat. I also did this with Afira oil pastels, and then I did the shading with the gold Faber pencils. And I really like the way he come out. Really pretty. Then next is my continuing color series for these flowers. I think I only have one more marker set that I want to do, and that's the tail tree. I haven't done the trail tree yet. This particular one I did with the Crayola Super Tips, and I am in love with the way this came out. And what I did was I went over everything twice. And I found, especially when you're using in smaller spaces like this, that if you go over it twice, it doesn't come out as streaky. And if you use, especially if you use long pencil strokes. And I really love the way this came out. So you really can do pretty pictures with Super Tips, especially when you're having smaller spaces. When you get into the larger spaces that you have to really worry about the streaking as it. But this came out beautiful. And then this one is with the Sharpies. And I really like the way it came out also. And then the next one is the color pencils. And I just picked one set of color pencils. And in this case it is, let me see, it is the Magic Fly colored pencils, and I like it. I didn't like go really dark in the flowers. I prefer it to come out a little bit more pastel-y than bold. So I'm really liking the way I like the red of the ribbon. So I'm really happy with the way that this came out with the pencils. Next are these cupcakes. I did these. I think I used oil pastels for the background. This is not the chalk pastels. And then I used Crayola Super Tips for everything, and then just use a little bit of glitter pens to do the sprinkles. I'm not 100% happy with it. I like the way the Super Tips look. I did the same thing I did with the other one. I kind of went over it twice, and so it didn't come out very streaky. But I just not crazy about my color. Like this icing I don't like. But, you know, overall it came out pretty good. And I'm not 100% happy with it, but it's not bad. Next is the Greatest Hits 100 Best Coloring Pages by Jade Summer. This is a book that I bought, and then I got the free copy for signing up for their newsletter. So now I can print it digitally, which I like, I prefer. This is the unicorn page. I had done this previously and I didn't like the way it came out, so I did it again. I really like this version that I did better. The only thing I don't like is how I did these leaves, but other than that, I really liked it. And what did I use? Just various markers. I didn't really pay attention. And this one is also one that I had done previously. I had done her hair black, and it was just too dark and flat, and I put a lot of like makeup on her face, and I just didn't like it. Didn't like it at all. This one I used, I think, just various markers. No, I used pen and gear for the whole thing, except I use these leaves here, and the background here I use Crayola crayons. I use the Color of the World Crayola crayons for her skin. What I do is I color it and then I wipe it off just like I would do it if it was an oil pastel, and it comes out real nice. And especially when you use the light skin tone like I did here. And I wanted her to have a real light skin tone because she's a vampire and they have no color. Unless they're the sparkly ones from Twilight, in which case I probably should have put some glitter on her, but no. And then what I did was just went over the leaves here a little bit with a pencil. So that's that. I really like her. Now we have Kawaii Girls from Ava Brown. Now this one, I'm in love with this picture. She reminded me so much of Rey from Star Wars, and I really wanted to kind of replicate her color palette. And so I used Crayola pencils because they have the closest to the tan color that I wanted for her dress. And basically I have one coloring technique that I use extensively, and that is I draw all the lines the darker color and then I fill in with a lighter color. I do that a lot, and I did that with her outfit and her hair. And actually I love the way this came out. I did the moon originally in gray, and when I showed it to my husband, he said that gray is just washing out too much in the background, and for me to make the moon red. So I went back over it with a red pencil, and I really love the way it came out. It's one of my favorite pages. This one is not one of my favorite pages. I don't like the way it came out. I know that a lot of people don't like the streaking in the dress, but that doesn't bother me because to me it's like a texture for the dress. But what I don't like, oh, and then I used oil pastels for the background. But what I don't like is I do not like the way I did the veil. I was using glitter gel pens and I added more lines, and I'm just not crazy about it. But I did enjoy it when I was doing it. I'm not so much enjoyed the outcome, but yeah, I still like it. And her face came out fairly streak free, so that made me happy. Next is Masks by Jade Summer. I love this coloring book. I don't color in it very often, but I really should because I really like it. And I did this gentleman here. Now, I did his skin with the Color of the World markers. They're the water-based markers from Crayola. And I have yet to be able to use them, especially on this cardstock, without it streaking like super badly. And I almost decided not to use this page because of that. But then I took a look at it and I said, this man right here is like a superhero, and he's older and he's been around and he's fought a lot of battles, and so I kind of like the effect that it had on his skin when you kind of look at it, and I thought it fit his character, so I left it. I did his masks in metallics, and then I did the chalk background, but then I did a little star stenciling. And I really like the way he came out. Really good. Next is Secret Garden 2, adult coloring book by Ava Brown. I did this page. On the background, what did I use for the, I think I used Bic intensities on the flowers and everything else. And then for the background, I used watercolor pencils. I used Crayola on the top and Gold Faber on the bottom. I like the way it comes out. I like the way these flowers really stand out. Then we go to Summertime by Sally Berry. I wanted to do a few more summer pages before the end of the month because really August is the last full month of summer. I did this coconut. I did it all with oil pastels, and I just highlighted it with pencil. The only thing I don't like is this middle section here. I did it dark brown for some reason. I don't know. Then I got to thinking, you know, the inside of a coconut is white. So then I went over it with orange so that it kind of looks like a tropical drink that they're drinking. So yeah, that's how that came out. Then on these seashells, I used oil pastels again, and I highlighted this one with pencil. And then I was going to highlight these with glitter gel pens, as you can see. I tried, but it wouldn't lay over the oil pastels very easily, so I gave up that. And then these I just did with the dual metallic gel pens. Then I just did these, I think with Pen and Gear. Yeah, this whole thing was done with Pen and Gear markers and oil pastel on the background. Same with this one. Let's see. Yeah, everything is Pen and Gear, but the metallic I think is Bic. And the background is oil pastel, but you can barely see the background because I used a very light lavender and it just didn't come out. This one was also done by oil pastels. I did a lot of work this month with oil pastels. I really love how this picture came out. I highlighted it or shaded it with Crayola pencils and used a little bit of white gel pen, and love it. This one was just various markers. I know I didn't use Pen and Gear on the yellow because I was worried about the bleeding, so I probably used Sharpies, but the rest of them are just various permanent markers. This one I know I did from all of it with Pen and Gear because I put the wax paper, and yeah, so that's that. And then this one I did with metallic and spree markers. So spree markers for all of the marker work, and then this and this and this was probably a Bic intensity for the metallic. Okay, so that was the end of the digital books. Next are the physical books that I have. The first one is 40 Coloring Pages by Sun Life Drawing. I did this tiger, if I can get to it. Oh, it's right here. I did this with some permanent markers that I got from HEB. And let me explain what happened with this poor guy. I was going to do all of the tiger outline in a dark color and then all of the other ones in a light color. But what happened was this marker ran out of ink. So then I thought, well, I heard you could put alcohol in it and get it to last a little longer. So I did that, and that worked for a while. But then, as you can see, as we're going to go here, it got lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter. And I just went with it. And then I switched to another color, and it had the same problem. And so I used 2 pens for this picture, and it looks like I have about probably 3 or 4 different colors in here. And I must say I like it, because what I like is his features are all in the dark color, so it makes his face pop out. And if I would have just gotten this in the dark color, and I guess I could have gone over it, but I didn't really want to because I said, no, this is how it came out, and I'm happy with it. Next, we have 50 Jungle Miniatures by Camilla Angelkova. And what I decided to do with this one is I'm not a big fan of monkeys, and I didn't really like the monkey pages that were in this book. So I decided to color them all at once and get them out of the way. And so we have this one, which I did. All of these I did basically the same because I colored them all at once. I used various Sharpies and Bics and Pen and Gear for everything. And I used white gel pen to highlight some things. And this one I did a metallic pen because I just wanted something different. And then I had the chalk background for everything. So that's the first one. And then we have this one, which my favorite part are the flowers and the snake. Oh, and then this background I didn't like. I went with a color, and I don't know if you could see it, but this right here in this corner here, it's kind of a darkish color. I wanted it to be like an olive green, and it came out more brown than green. So then I went back and found another green and kind of went through it and gave it some green highlights, so it just made it less drab. This one, I must say I like this one. I like that I gave this guy freckles. I don't know if you can see it, but it made him cuter than he was before, I think. So I like him, and I love the turtle. The turtle's my favorite part of that picture. And then we have this guy jumping rope. And that's that for 50 Jungle Miniatures. Next I have Chibi Girls, Volume 3 by April Amber. I did this page. This page reminded me of a VTuber called Amelia Watson. She dresses sort of like a detective, and I went through and I did her with the blonde hair and kind of her color scheme. And I just used various permanent markers for her, and I really like it. And then next is the Chibi Girls Grayscale, 4-in-1 books by Jade Summer. I did the vampire page. I used different markers. I know that I used Pen and Gear on her hair, and I really love the way that hair color came out. On him, I used the Bic Intensity, and it ran out. And as you can see, it has all these like lines and streaks and stuff because I was trying to get it to last. I like how it gave out here in the middle. But I like how it's like bright here, and I don't mind the lines because I think it gives it kind of a texture-ish look. I like the way her dress has a very soft texture to it. I really like it. Then this one, I like it, but not as much as the other one. I think I would have liked it better if I would have gone with this color blue down here for this train. I think this is too dark through here. And I was running out of ink on some of these, but I kind of like the way it gave it added dimension. So yeah, I like the picture. I just wish I would have changed that train color. Next is Happiness. This one is by, I will find it for you, hold on, Arpad Olby. I did this picture because it reminded me of me and my husband when we went to the Grand Canyon. Of course, we did not stand that close to the edge because I am very, very, very terrified of heights. But yeah, that's what it reminded me of, so I did that picture. Next, we have Stained Glass Nautical Designs by Sachin Diva. I really kind of wanted to finish this book this last month, but after I did the 5 pages I kind of got bored because I did a whole bunch of them the month before. And I'm pretty much halfway done with the book, and I decided, no, I'm not going to rush through it. So I did this page. I did them all with super tips, Crayola broad tips, those type of markers. I'm trying to use them up. I did the crab, the boat, this turtle, which I love this green and how it pops out against the blue. And that's it. Okay, so then I have a bit of a surprise. I did a video called I think it's a Start Small tag that I was tagged on. And one of the questions was, what pages intimidate you? And I had said that I don't really feel like pages should intimidate you. You can have pages that are more difficult than other pages, but you shouldn't ever let a page intimidate you. And one of the examples that I brought up was this one. And when I first looked at it, I thought, oh man, this page is really hard. There was a lot of small details in here, and it just looked very difficult. But the more I looked at it, the more I said, you know what? You should practice what you preach and say that there's no page that should be, you know, intimidating or too difficult that you don't want to do. You should just do your best on a page, and as long as you have fun, the outcome doesn't really matter. To me, the journey sometimes is more important than the destination when you get there. And this is a picture that is an example of that. Is it perfect? No. Are there things I don't like about it? Yes. I particularly hate the way I did that waterfall. But I enjoyed it. And when I broke it down to its basics, it wasn't that hard. All of these trees were basically, you know, highlighting in one color and filling in with another. Same with the trees. The hand I did in a brown because he's the earth and he's holding up, you know, the earth. I did the sky, you know, blue because he looks like he's out in the middle of the sky. I did these in different pops of color here and there just so it wouldn't be all green. I like the snake and the, I think it's a leopard. I did the snake in yellow because I didn't want it to be green because there was so much green. And I I'm happy with the way it came out, actually. And then since I was doing that page, I did this one. That's the twin page that goes with this one. And I did him in blue-ish color because he's like the ice king that's holding up the ice cave. I used gold favor pencils on both. On this one, I highlighted this bottom part with metallic, and I wasn't that happy with it. And then the top I used glitter gel pens and some white gel pens, and I really like the way this came out. And I don't think you can really see it on camera, but it sparkles in the light, and it has a glittery feel to this, like it's ice, and I really like it. I almost wish I would have just gone blue with this and not gone the purple. And then the background, I did a sort of like a sunset-ish, sunrise-ish colors. And overall, I like it. It's just, you know, it's not one of my favorite pictures I've ever done, but it came out pretty good, and I'm pretty happy with it. So then I got on a roll, and I did this one. And this one I did with Crayola pencils, and I used them because I could get the tans that I wanted. And I wanted it to have a washed out, sun bleached feel to it. I didn't want the colors to be that vibrant, and I thought Crayola would be perfect for that. And I wanted these candles to be in like primary colors. And so then I used the same color as the wax. I used it to kind of highlight the building. And then the ladies here, I put all in black and gray because they kind of were to me like a cult or a religious order that was going to the temples. And then these look like leaves, but I didn't want to do them green. So I did them in autumn colors so that it would represent the flame. And then I highlighted it with the gold and the yellow so that it would give it more of a flame feel. And I really love the way it came out. And then I did one more. And this is my favorite page. That's this one. And when I took a look at it, I thought, man, this page is not hard. Really, there's not much to this page. And when I looked at these fruit, I said, it looks like an orangish kind of fruit, but the inside is like an apple. So I did the outside orange. I used two different colors. These are Prismacolor. And I did use a blender pencil on the oranges only because I wanted to blend a little smoother. I very rarely do that, but I do like the way this came out. And then I did use the same colors for these leaves as I did here. And I must say, I'm in love with this picture. It's one of my favorite ones I've done. So yeah, I'm really happy because I've had this book for a while and I really honestly didn't think I was ever going to color in it. So I'm really grateful for that tag, so that an Aquarius Dream, she's the one who tagged me, and I will link her channel below, because I'm really grateful that she got me motivated to color in this book, or I never would have. I'm thinking of doing this one. I have an idea for it. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. We shall see. So that's it. That's my completed pages. Thank you again on joining me for my journey through all my pictures. I really appreciate you stopping by. Thank you. Live long in color and have a great day. Bye-bye.